Once, the police could only try and catch car criminals by chasing them until they gave up or crashed. Now they have special cameras which read number plates and automatically sound the alarm.
Yeah, northbound in lane 5.
Lane 2, stolen vehicle, blue Audi.
Tango 4 Lima 1 will go after that one.
Tonight, as the police join forces to crack down on car crime, the UK's 35 million motorists face checkpoints on the motorway. Catching drug dealers, drivers with money, illegal immigrants, the armed and the dangerous.
It's like an arms race. It's evolving all the time, and the offenders and the manufacturers and the designers and the planners and everybody else are trying to keep ahead of each other.
The M6, Warwickshire. 200 police officers from 5 different police forces have taken over a motorway service station to intercept travelling criminals and motorists who are breaking the law by driving without licences or insurance.
A criminal won't specialise in committing one area of crime. They will have a total disrespect for law. Therefore, if you're pulling a vehicle over which has been highlighted as having no insurance, the reality is it probably has got other vehicle-related offences.
This is Operation Utah, part of a massive car crime initiative across the UK. Inspector Lucy Sewell is in charge.
Welcome to Operation Utah, which is Warwickshire host in the region. What we've done is we've picked the busiest trunk network in Warwickshire, the M6. We know that the roads used more between 11 and 9 o'clock, hence the operation is running today between those times. What happens is we've got motorcyclists and marked vehicles, and what they are doing is when there's intelligence to suggest a vehicle needs stopping, that vehicle gets intercepted by the bikes and the cars and then is brought into the sites here.
What's happening here today is there's an ANPR, an automatic number plate recognition exercise going on. When your number plate's been hit and it's come up with an offence on your vehicle, it could be your registration documents are incorrect, it could be you have no insurance, or it could be that it was involved in a crime. We don't know until we put you into the bay and you obviously get checked out in one of the bays, OK?
And at the check bay, the occupants in the vehicle is then intercepted by search officers, street officers, we've got police specials on board. It's all looking at enforcement, and it's about targeting criminals that are using our roads. So we're not looking at persecuting the motorists for minor traffic offences. This is a crime initiative.
100 miles down the road, at the M1 services at Luton, hundreds more officers are also gathering for another operation. Over the next 8 hours, 140,000 cars will pass through this section of motorway. These cops are using the latest car crime technology, ANPR cameras. Road CCTV cameras connected to computers which automatically recognise car number plates.
ANPR started in Northern Ireland. It was used by the military in Northern Ireland to monitor the movement of paramilitary and IRA cells, so they knew where they were going at any one time. But of course, they then saw the massive implication of its use elsewhere. So within the UK, yeah, ANPR is a significant tool.
PC Bob Gabby is usually a motorcycle cop, but today he's on the ANPR cameras.
This is it's a clear tone ANPR Spectrum van. There's 5 lanes of motorway. I've got cameras monitoring each lane of traffic, and I'm getting alerts on any problems with any of those vehicles, be it document offences of no insurance, no tax, no MOT, or if the vehicle's being used in crime or connected to any criminals that we know about. I'll get an alert here.
These aren't roadblocks, but checkpoints. Only vehicles with plates which set off the computer alarm will be pulled in.
As soon as I'm informed of the vehicle from the machine, I'll put it out on the radio to intercept vehicles that are north of me on the M1 motorway that will be putting the vehicles over. Yeah, northbound in lane 5, Hotel 57.
The intercept team car on the northbound is driven by 2 experienced traffic officers.
Tango 4 Lima 1 will go after that one. just past us. If we get in the outside lane, we'll just have to blues and... What we've had now is we've had a marker come through on a vehicle, having no insurance held on the database. We're just going to pull it over and we'll speak to the driver and see what the story is. It's come back as no insurance, does it?
The car in front is a Jaguar X-Type, worth around £20,000, with a top speed of 150.
Do you have any insurance at the moment?
Yes.
You do? What insurance company are you with?
It's a first... they call First something.
First something. OK. Have you got your driving licence on you?
Not here.
What sort of driving licence do you have?
I got Chinese driving license with a provisional one.
A provisional Chinese licence? So have you got a provisional English licence?
Yeah.
OK, so you shouldn't be driving the car then, should you? You need a full driving licence to drive in this country. And we've got some more officers back in Luton, just on the first junction at Luton. So you've got a child on board. So we'll speak to you back there in a bit of a safer location.
Driver now, because he's not being supervised and he's not displaying any L plates, that gives us the power then to seize the vehicle under section 165A of the Road Traffic Act for driving otherwise in accordance with his licence. So Dom's now driving the vehicle. We're going to take it up to the stopping point and just kind of do a full check on it.
The check will be carried out by one of Britain's most experienced traffic cops, PC Bill Owens.
Who is you insured with?
I can't remember. It's called First something because I bought from the comparison website. There's too many companies' names on there.
Our system shows that you've got no insurance for this vehicle.
I have the hard copy at home. I have the email at home.
We have checked already, but we'll do a further phone call. Bear with me. Hello, Head. I'm PC Bill Owens from Hertfordshire. Can I give you an index to run through the system, please? It's a Bravo Kilo 54, and it's a Jaguar X-Type. OK. So the MIB database at this moment in time is showing this vehicle has no insurance. There's no records for this vehicle. OK, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Bye. Right. I'm happy for the immigration officer, your wife, to go home, and if she can get the insurance for this car, then there's not a problem.
Yeah.
OK? If not, then the vehicle will be seized. Yeah.
If I back with my wife, I'll bring the certificate and show you.
And whereabouts do you live in Luton?
It's not far, just down the road. It's New Bedford Road.
How far away? A couple of minutes?
minutes.
Right, get yourself a taxi.
Yeah.
Come back with the insurance.
Yeah.
And then you can keep the vehicle. I've got the key. If you're not back, it's gone. You need to get home and straight back.
10 minutes.
Don't hang about. Straight home, straight back.
Yeah.
OK? Otherwise, the vehicle will be gone.
The Utah interceptors aren't hanging about either. The ANPR cameras have pinged an Audi TT, a hire car which is thought to have a wanted marker on it. PC Sinead Sweeney's team will investigate.
Gents, can I just ask you to keep your hands where they are at the minute? OK, don't go into your pockets or anything, all right? Thank you. Is the car registered to yourself, is it?
No, it's a hire car.
A hire car?
Yes.
OK, right.
So what's the reason I've...
Right, you've been stopped because there's intelligence on the vehicle, so it's relation to drugs, OK? We'll do some checks on yourself, the driver, the passenger and the vehicle, all right? And then we'll be searching the vehicle and yourselves, OK?
Where did you get the hire car from? Right. Is that by your insurance company?
No, it isn't, no.
Right. It may be then that you need to sort out with them.
Well, I know,
it's not reports on the vehicle you're going to keep getting stopped.
But it's going back on one, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Warwick Races.
Operation Utah isn't just about the traffic police. Everyone involved in the fight against British and international car crime is here. Even the UK Border Force is checking up on illegal immigrants and workers.
He hasn't got his passport. He reckons that he sent it off to Croydon.
Officials from the DVLA are after car tax evaders, and benefit fraud enforcers are asking questions.
Mercury DWP. Just wanted to check some details, just to make sure you're not claiming benefit or anything like that.
As are a team from Britain's only National Vehicle Crime Squad, AVSIS, the Vehicle Crime Intelligence Service.
AVSIS was set up in 2006, and our job is to sort of maintain an overview across the whole breadth of vehicle crime, right the way through from low-level offending, sort of street-level disorder, right the way up through to organised criminality, exporting stolen vehicles, that sort of thing.
103 3074.
The AVSIS team are looking for stolen cloned cars, vehicles whose identities have been changed. They're giving the Audi TT the once-over. It's not stolen, but it's still on hire purchase and may not have the right insurance.
The hire company, basically, there's a legitimate sheet in there for that. However, it does show to be on finance to a finance company. At the moment, what we're looking for is whether the finance company is happy whether or not the car can be used as a hire car, because if not, then they'll be wanting it back today. Unfortunately, as always happens, it's lunchtime, and so I'm just waiting for them to come back from lunch. So once they've come back from that, I can confirm what they want to do with the car.
While they wait for lunch to finish, the investigation continues, and the search team has found money in the Audi glove compartment.
Large quantity of cash was found inside the vehicle, and we're in the process now of actually making inquiries to find where that cash has come from.
The driver says the cash is his for betting on the horses with. He's on the way to the races, but the police aren't listening to him.
I can get in the race car. I need £50 then.
OK, unfortunately it doesn't work like that. What's happened is
I can't work that.
The people from Force Intelligence, etc., from Warwickshire, there is a marker on the car in relation to drugs and money laundering. I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah.
Large sums of money on your person and also in the vehicle. OK, what we'll do once we've had all of your cash, if you follow me over to the office over there, they'll fill in all the relevant paperwork and obviously explain in more
Are you
detail.
going to count that over there?
No, I'm not going to count it. All I'm going to do is all the cash.
Bag it up. A lot of my colleagues
All we're
just
doing,
explained.
That's absolutely.
we're being told by the people that deal with this thing day in, day out.
Well,
OK? It's nothing personal to you.
This is crazy.
If you want to discuss it with them, that's fine.
Where are these people?
When I take you over, we'll sort it out.
How much is there?
I just can't believe it.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, no problem. Go on. Yeah.
Down south, the driver of the Jaguar X-Type is back with his insurance details for PC Owens.
Right, where's your insurance?
Yeah.
Right, is this printed off the internet?
Can't remember.
Right, I need to make a call, OK?
The call's bad news. Insurance isn't the motorist's only problem.
Were you aware that your licence has been revoked? You have 9 points on your driving licence.
I got a 9 points.
Yeah. OK, so you need to get in touch with DVLA because you haven't got a driving licence, you cannot drive.
But you got this license, then you give to me this one. That's been revoked, you mean? That's been...
This is a Chinese licence? Or is it an English licence?
That's a provisional one.
This is provisional?
Yeah.
Well, it shows you... Have you passed your test?
I passed the English test.
Yeah, but your licence...
The problem is I lost 3 points 2 years ago. And
right.
When I passed the test, I'll be catched by a camera again. So I lost 6 points. So
because you're a learner driver and you've got points in your licence has been revoked. So you have to pass your driver test again. You cannot drive on this licence. So your licence has been revoked, you have to take your test again.
Okay.
Which means you need to slow down, don't you? It means you need to slow down.
I've tried quite carefully, but...
well, obviously you're not, are you? Stay with me, I'll explain that in a minute when I've talked to your insurance company.
And the insurance company confirms the worst. Another offence.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, bye-bye. Mr. This insurance policy has been cancelled because you haven't paid them. OK, you have... The insurance company have cancelled this policy because you haven't paid your instalments on February. So I must tell you, you're going to be reported for using a vehicle on the road without insurance and also driving in accordance with the licence. You're not obliged to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Basically, that's a caution. Do you wish to say anything at all?
It's thought there are almost 2 million uninsured motorists in Britain.
OK, no reply.
When caught, they usually try to talk themselves out of it.
OK. I'll let you get away then, sir, OK?
It almost becomes a challenge when they try to come up with a story or they try to bluff their way out of it. And it does become a bit of a challenge to break the story down, but I think it's the experience, the training and the available resources that just destroy the story.
To the north, the Utah team are still trying to work out what to do with the cash they found in the Audi TT.
How was it found?
It was found separately. This was in his back pocket, that was in his car, and that was also in his
Okay, I'll make notes of that, but we'll bag it up as one amount.
Right, okay.
We'll do the combined amount, but I'll make some notes of it in a minute.
Well, this is a gentleman here.
We're on the way to work. To White Races. Can we not have some money back? We need some petrol money and all that. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The driver says he rented the Audi for his day at the races and has no connection to drugs or money laundering. But Inspector Sewell cannot ignore the wanted mark of the ANPR cameras flagged up.
Not yet, no.
Put it in anyway.
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's cash being found anyway, so it's not. I've explained to him.
They've done the swabbing on the steering wheel, and the steering wheel came up no trace on the steering wheel.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's been large amounts of cash found anyway, so I was just trying to clarify.
Okay.
Clarifying also means searching the car for drugs. While the dog goes to work, the vehicle crime squad are still trying to find out if the car is allowed to be hired out. The finance company is back from lunch, and it isn't.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What I'll do is I'll mark it up for not to be released until we're spoken to you. The vehicle's not insured for hire and reward, so basically insurance is obviously null and void.
DC Ruff isn't the only detective at work. The innocent driver who's been caught up in all this is also at it. On the phone to the company who rented him the car.
Here's the man from the hire place.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's DC Ruff here. How can I help you? I phoned up AXA, and you have got insurance, but you've got only insurance for trading vehicles, not for hire vehicles. The vehicle's going to be seized. It's going to be taken to a local compound. Okay. All right. Cheers, then. Bye. Is that your phone or mine?
Mine.
Even though it's now clear the driver did hire the car in good faith, his day at the races has been ruined. The police are keeping his money for the time being, and the car is being impounded because it isn't insured properly and he can't drive it any further.
Turn it off for me.
Yeah.
Have you got your driving licence with you?
Yes.
Can I see it, please?
To the south, the ANPR cameras have found another car which doesn't seem to be insured, and the driver, a Romanian, has got what might be a fake driver's licence.
I need you to take your phone away from you there for a second, all right? I'm just going to pass this to my colleague, okay? I'm also arresting you, okay, for providing a counterfeit driving licence, so you're under arrest on the Fraud Act. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention, when questioned, something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. You've also, without driving without insurance as well, so you're arrested for that as well. Just have yourself a seat.
Fake driving or vehicle documents are now routinely used by people who are making millions to resell stolen cars as genuine ones. Clones. In the southwest of England, the police in Devon and Cornwall are after a gang of criminals who are using stolen vehicle identity documents, V5s, to clone stolen cars. PC Bruce McGuff is a top man when it comes to spotting stolen cars and counterfeit V5s.
Oh, Pete, I got this Audi A3 coming in at 3 o'clock, mate. If I can use the ramp there, I just want to do a quick inspection. I've just received some details from the DVLA at Swansea. They've just advised me that a member of the public here in Plymouth has forwarded to them a V5, that's the vehicle registration document, to register a car with them. Unfortunately, a number of V5s have been stolen from the DVLA, and they're in circulation now amongst the criminal fraternity.
The theft of the genuine V5s almost 4 years ago sparked a car crime wave, and PC McGuff has been dealing with the consequences ever since. Innocent people with cars which don't belong to them.
Sadly, it appears that this person has bought a stolen car and that the V5 he was given was a stolen V5 with the details of the stolen car entered on that V5. So he's going to come here today. I'm going to inspect the vehicle and try and confirm its true identity.
The man who bought the car does not want to be identified. He saw it advertised in a motoring magazine as a bargain. Initial checks confirmed the registration details as genuine. £10,000 in cash changed hands. But the DVLA now believes this could be one of the batch of stolen V5s, and the car is not what it appears to be.
At the moment, I get to say, mate, it's not sounding that good. This car, with the mileage it has, would actually retail in a garage at £16,000. And in fact, even to buy it private, you would probably pay something in the region of £12,000 to £13,000. So it's been advertised at a price that obviously is going to generate a lot of interest, which obviously is what it did in this case. And the gentleman, unfortunately, has paid over a substantial amount of money for the car.
The thieves know exactly what they're doing. When they steal a car, they'll put a set of number plates on the vehicle that make it seem to be younger than it actually is. What that does is present you with what you think is maybe a 58-plated car, which is actually an 09-plated car, but it'll have a lower mileage than you expect, and it'll be in very, very good condition. You're going to see something which is in incredibly good nick. I think this is a real bargain, especially because the price is so low.
First thing is, anybody that makes up a number plate has to put their postcode on it. That's the law now, and there's no postcode on that number plate. This visible VIN is covering the original VIN. That's just a bit of paper with a VIN, and I can tell you now, by removing that bit of paper, it will reveal the proper VIN number. I mean, I shan't bother removing that right now. I won't even touch that one. See this here? That's where the stamping VIN should be. But if I peel this back, and that reveals the VIN stamp. The VIN stamp should be physically stamped into the body. So if the car's ever damaged or in a fire, we can always identify it from the VIN stamp. Can you do me a chassis check, please, on a red Audi?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Lima 137, can you check, please, Whiskey Alpha 162234. That's on a red Audi.
Yes, it's got a stolen report on here. Stolen during a burglary on the 21st of May 09.
We'll just get the log number for you, if you could attach it to that log, please. Can we have forced recovery for a stolen vehicle? It's currently at Plimpton Police Workshop.
The even worse news for the innocent buyer is that the Audi will now be confiscated, and he's lost it as well as his £10,000.
If the car turns out to be stolen, the car will go back to the insurance company or the owner, so you'll have lost your car and your money.
If the bargain looks too good to be true, then it probably is. You know, there's no such thing as a free lunch, and if a car, its market value is £15,000 and someone's offering it for £11,000–12,000, then that should set alarm bells ringing.
The loss of the genuine V5 DVLA documents happened in 2006. An estimated 500,000 went missing. No one knows how they fell into criminal hands, but they did.
There was a hope that, in actual fact, at one point that they hadn't been stolen, that they'd fallen off the back of a lorry. But of course, that story was soon squashed when they started to emerge in small but now significant numbers.
The significant numbers are spreading throughout Britain, and the National Vehicle Crime Squad are now also involved.
We're now seeing those documents coming through in large numbers. My unit's recovering around about 12 stolen cloned vehicles a week, where documentation has been submitted by innocent purchasers invariably who've gone out and bought a car, what they think is the bargain, and invariably the car isn't. It turns out to be stolen.
Even when we do it by the book and make all the checks, it's possible to fall foul of the V5 criminals. When this Navara pickup was advertised on the internet, it caught the eye of this man. He wasn't fooled by the price and resolved to be careful.
This one was at a reasonable price. It wasn't overly cheap. It wasn't, you know, an absolute bargain to make you appear a bit suspicious. Contacted the guy, and that's how the whole thing started.
The whole thing meant a wary buyer who was prepared to cover all the bases before handing over any money.
We did an HPI check. It gives you the registration number, the previous owner, engine number, and all the sort of things that you check up on the vehicle just before you buy it. Everything on that vehicle checked out fine.
Andrew Smith met the man at the end of the phone at a motorway service station and went over the pickup he'd seen on the internet with a fine-tooth comb.
Looked at the logbook, looked over the vehicle, checked all the identifying marks to make sure that the vehicle, as far as I could tell, was correct, which it was.
Andrew Smith gave the seller almost £11,000 in cash, but when he and his wife got home and checked the pickup's V5 document with another, alarm bells rang.
We were a little bit suspicious when we checked it compared to our other V5 forms at home. We realised there was no barcodes on the V5 form. We went to the police. They sent a vehicle examiner who came round and said, basically, you've got a stolen car, we're going to take it off you. The main feeling I had was feeling pretty stupid, sick to my stomach that I'd parted with all my hard-earned money, basically.
The pickup had been stolen just a few days before it was sold. The V5 was a forgery.
One of the things that I think people should do really as a matter of course is take a genuine document with you when you go and buy a car. Most of us will have a car when we go and buy another one, so take your own registration document and lay the two side by side. And if it looks different to the original that you know is an original because it's your car, then walk away.
Andrew Smith didn't walk away from his loss. He decided to turn detective and go after the man who'd used the internet and a mobile to con him.
We got a friend to ring up and try and buy the car that we bought, if you understand what I mean. He sort of fell for that in some respects. He said he had another vehicle, he was a trader, and he could get her another one, but it would take him a few days to get. We passed these details on to the police. The police set up to arrange to buy this vehicle. They arranged a location, and they had a number of officers in wait. The guy turned up to deliver the car, and they pounced on him and arrested him.
Andrew Smith still has his Navara pickup. The police didn't give it back, he bought it, a second time from the insurance company, paying a further £5,000. On the M1 at Luton, the car crime crackdown continues. The ANPR cameras are catching more and more travelling criminals and law-breaking motorists. PC Gabby's having a busy day.
We've had about 11 hits from other police forces' own databases for vehicles used in crime. Those vehicles will be stopped by the intercept cars, taken to the reception area, and then the vehicle and occupants spoken to and dealt with accordingly.
Lane 2, stolen vehicle, blue Audi.
But the automatic number plate recognition system isn't perfect. Sometimes the information on its computer is wrong or misleading.
That vehicle, we've stopped it going northbound just after junction 11. Spoke to the occupant, he says it's his car, he says it's not stolen. It's not under arrest at the moment, it's just detained for the purposes of searching the vehicle, and we're going to check the VIN number, which is like an identification number. So we're going to check that out. We'll make inquiries with the force that put the stolen marker on PNC as well.
Until they get verification, the traffic cops remain suspicious.
We've got documentation, and there's about 3 different addresses that the chap's got already, which is quite unusual. Usually you only have one address for yourself. So we just need to confirm exactly who he is and where he's actually living. We've also got a letter from the DVLA Enforcement Centre, so that may be interesting to the DVLA in relation to what they've sent that to him for. Although it's not open at the minute and we can't open his letters. We'll find out.
They might not be able to open the driver's mail, but they can check his identity by using another automated piece of police technology.
Okay, and the same finger on your left hand. This is a lantern device. It's a mobile fingerprinting machine. It will send it off to like the national database, and it will send back a result if those fingerprints are known, and it will tell us who those fingerprints belong to. So basically, it's just another way of checking a person's identity. It's a useful tool though when it works. Most of the time it does work. We get a few results out of it because people tend to lie to us and give us wrong details. So there's somebody else when they're not for various reasons. A lot of time because they're wanted or because they haven't got a driving licence. So we will see.
And this time, what PC Goldston is seeing confirms he has an innocent man on his hands.
Right, so we've got a result come back, and those fingerprints belong to this gentleman, so he's given us the correct details.
Not only is the driver who he says he is, but the checks on the car have confirmed it hasn't even been stolen and was wrongly on the ANPR database.
That's lovely. I was going to request that anyway. We're going to let the driver on his way, as he is the RO insured and he has a full licence.
But there's still a mystery to be solved.
Someone has reported it stolen, okay, but he's made an initial report and then Manchester haven't been able to get back to him to get further details. So he's rang up, said my car's stolen, he's given the index of your car. When Manchester Police have tried to ring him back to get further details, they've not been able to reach him in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so Manchester have erred on the side of caution and put on a stolen marker on your vehicle, and it would appear to see basically when it gets stopped to see whether that person is legitimate to drive the vehicle. We've obviously done all those checks already, and we know you're legitimately driving the vehicle. So Manchester Police are going to take the marker off the vehicle, so it won't be shown as stolen, and we're obviously going to release you and let you go to work. A little bit late.
It's late already.
But at least you've told your people you're going to be late. ANPR's no different to any other computer, and computers are only as good as the information that people put into them. And on this occasion, the information wasn't as it should be. But you know, there's always the next time.
I think ANPR is highly effective, but it needs the other tools to go with it. And the biggest single tool that ANPR needs is the number plate to be right. And for the number plate to be not only right in terms of its presentation, but to be right in terms of the identity that sits behind that registration.
Sitting behind these registration plates is a driver who's used to being stopped by the police because his car sets off the ANPR cameras. But he's not bothered.
Been pulled over. I'm just back from 2 weeks in Afghanistan, just on leave, and just heading up to go to my girlfriend's sister's wedding up near Manchester. The number plate's been stolen off this vehicle before a few months ago, and it's just still on the system that they, as the number, there's an irregularity with the number plate, so that's why they've pulled us over and just checked the vehicle out.
The plates were taken from this car for use on another stolen vehicle to turn it into a clone.
Cloning is a big problem because basically if someone steals a car, they actually take the number plate of a car that hasn't been stolen, it's the same kind of car, it's the same colour car, and they switch the number plate. So it's a relatively simple thing for the criminal to do.
Simple things involving number plates led this motorist into an ANPR nightmare. He also gets pulled over every time he goes through Utah-type road checks. But he doesn't like it one little bit.
I was being followed everywhere I went, it felt like. I had a run-in with police who pulled me over at the side of the road and questioned me and checked my chassis number, etc. And explained to me that there was a stop order on my vehicle.
The stop order was put on Andy Bird's rare Vauxhall Monero after he had decided to register his new pride and joy on a petrolhead's website. Just what the cloning criminals wanted.
Maybe it's my silly fault for putting a picture of the car up on the internet. I mean, I presumed, to be honest, it was a fairly rare vehicle, and you know, no one would be silly enough to clone that. If you was going to clone a car, you'd clone something that was very, very commonplace.
Andy Bird was lucky. His alibi that he had parked his car in this Kettering Station car park to catch the 6:15 to London held up. But that didn't stop the police calls from coming in.
I got the phone call from the Northamptonshire Police. The vehicle has been spotted in, I believe it was Manchester, and is wanted in connection with a serious crime. Now, I was convinced it was a wind-up. You know, I work in London. There's no way that my vehicle could have been up in Manchester unless it had been stolen, and on the basis that I was sitting in it, I think someone would have done pretty well to get it out of the car park all the way up to Manchester and back in a day. So I was absolutely convinced it was, you know, that they were wrong. I received another call from Leicestershire Police, who then told me that that the vehicle had been used in a particular incident up there as well. Suddenly I was a suspect in a series of serious crimes, and an absolute nightmare. Now, every few phone calls that I got on the mobile, I picked the call up and it was a policeman again wanting to know where I was at a particular time, and was it me northbound, southbound, or in a car park. My concern was having my daughter in the car or having my partner in the car that, you know, someone could get a little bit overexcited in that situation, and it could lead to, you know, to a problem.
Mr. Bird's hoping there won't be any further ANPR problems, but he's not totally convinced.
I'm hoping the stop order's off the car, because if it isn't, you know, where does it end? So, yeah, hopefully it's over.
Criminal gangs make as much as £3 billion a year from car cloning, suggesting they've found a way to beat ANPR technology. In Warwickshire, another motorist has fallen foul of the Utah cameras. Once again, it's a no insurance alarm, but already it's led to something else: drugs.
They've stopped a vehicle and they've recorded a bit of Class A drugs on one of them, found a large amount of cash on another, and they've obviously found stuff that you would associate with the growing of cannabis. So we're in the process at the moment of trying to find out who they are, what they're doing, where they're going, where they've been, and where that cash is from.
With the stuff they got for the hydroponics and the other bits and pieces, the wire, etc., it looks like they're going to be setting up hydroponics for cannabis environment in somebody's house somewhere, I think.
We might have got them before they've actually set it up now.
One of the passengers in the car, a Vietnamese man, has caught the eye of the UK Border Agency.
Right, have you got any ID on you at all?
No, sir.
No at all. Right. What do you think he is, immigration-wise?
I think Paul would say he's a fast asylum seeker.
Not signing, not reporting?
Not reporting, not signing on.
Right. Can you get a decision from Dave as to what, immigration-wise, we need to do? We've got 4 mobile phones of one person. He's been taken away for a drug search because the drugs dog indicated that there might be a positive there. So he's being searched at the moment. The question is, why has someone got 4 mobile telephones, really? Is the issue. And I'm told one of them is worth several £1,000s.
Someone who won't be phoning home is the Vietnamese passenger. He's been confirmed as a failed asylum seeker.
You put your asylum claim in, it's been looked at by our officers and it's been considered to be refused, okay? And we now need to get an emergency travel document for you to be removed back to Vietnam, okay?
The vehicle's going to be seized and the occupants of the vehicle have all been arrested and will be taken to Nuneaton Police Station and interviewed or questioned about everything that's in the car.
You all right, chap? How you doing? All right. Good night, mate.
Just shows you how useful Operation Utah is with all the agencies coming together. If we hadn't run this operation today, we wouldn't have got the hits on the ANPR system, and these people have gone about their normal activity, and we've got them.
ANPR also gets them in London, where the cameras help computers churn out congestion charge fines or parking tickets. Sometimes, innocent drivers whose cars have been cloned find out they've become a car crime victim only because the capital's ANPR cameras wrongly identify them. Dion Irvin, who lives with her partner and baby son in Derbyshire, 100 miles from London, found out the hard way that you don't have to live in the big city to fall foul of its criminals.
We had an Audi A4 Cabriolet, really nice car. When you've got a baby, you've got your pushchair and you've got your car seat, so we decided to sell it because it just wasn't practical.
Dion decided the most practical way to sell her car was on the internet. The photo she took showed the number plate as clear as day. We've obscured it. Within days of advertising the Audi with the clear plate, Dion started to get ANPR-generated fines from London.
These are the ones I received initially, the 3 congestion charges. 3rd of June, Piccadilly. 4th of June, Farringdon Street. That's King Cross Road, 6th of June. I wrote to them saying that was not my car was on the drive, it wasn't me. This was the first letter that they sent back, saying that no, they think it's my car. Then there's another letter saying no, it's your car, another 3-page letter from them there. My baby was 7 weeks old, you know, newborn baby, you don't get any time anyway. Some days I'm trying to put him down to try and write these letters, or I'm having him on my knee, and actually a lot of the letters I type one-handed, holding him asleep. So it was stressful. You're emotional when you've got a new baby anyway, so when they kept coming through, you know, you do feel quite teary and quite emotional. It's quite hard.
Despite Dion's protests, Transport for London, who run the congestion zone, refused to believe she was not the driver of the car and threatened her with legal action.
It's Transport for London against you. And what do? There's no one to help, there's nowhere to go. You can't talk to them, they won't listen, you send them photos, you send them letters, and it's like nothing's ever good enough. I rang the police, they gave me an incident number, told me that they couldn't give me a crime reference number because it's not a recordable crime, and that was that.
After £1,000 worth of penalties and in the depths of despair, Dion finally got help. From the very cameras which were filming her. She got fines with colour pictures.
I got parking charges one from the City of London and one from Islington. Now, the Islington one actually got colour photos on, and I could actually see that it was a different colour to my car. So I actually sent details to them and the photographs of my car, and they actually cancelled it very quickly and said there were, I think there were 7 more, and just to ignore them. So I got 7 more parking charges through. City of London, again the same. I sent the photos through and they cancelled that one really quickly.
After many months, Dion Irvine was finally in the clear, but the cloning criminals were never caught.
Whoever's got that clone car is laughing because they were parking wherever they want, driving around London, and they will probably never be caught because they'll probably just swap it to another one.
The continuing spread and use by the police of ANPR cameras means that cloned or false number plates are now at the forefront of the fight against car crime.
The number plate is too readily available. There are 48,000 registered suppliers. There are also unregistered suppliers, and there are suppliers outside of the UK who will provide number plates to you.
Are we doing enough to protect our number plate? No, we're not. We're simply relying on old technology. The only real number plate security we've got are 2 or 4 screws. That's our technology.
The whole system needs looking at. It's the sort of cradle-to-grave reconsideration of the number plate system that we need.
Many involved in the battle with the cloning criminals believe that the answer to our problem lies in Scandinavia. The Swedish don't allow 48,000 suppliers to make number plates. They have just one, and this man controls the lot.
The main thing with the system that we do have here in Sweden is that it's not possible to have a car registered without our knowledge. You have to go through us to get the registration, and the license plate are issued by us. You cannot manufacture your own license plate.
Sweden's number plates are made in one secure factory in Stockholm.
Kent, we start the production here. We receive the orders from the authorities every night. Yes. And every morning we started the production. The blanks we loaded from here, and you have the letters and the numbers embossed. We have a camera taking a picture and check the quality, check the numbers, and then go to the database and check if it's a plate in the database. Yes. And if the quality is correct, it's also image the plate with the VIN number.
VIN numbers are not etched onto British license plates. But that's not the only thing the Swedes do to try and foil car criminals and help their traffic cops.
On the number plate we have the number, and you can read it from the wind screen. And that number is the same on the number plate. So you can see if the number plate is for that car or not.
This link between the car and the plate is further strengthened by a special sticker, which gives the cops additional information about the vehicle and its owner.
We can see if the tax is paid, if they have paid their insurance, if there is some technical problems with the car. We can also see if the owner has a driving license and what kind of driving license the owner has. Every authority that has something with the car to do, they put the information into the system.
And in Sweden, you can't collect your plates or have them sent to just any address. They go only to the address registered with Sweden's Inland Revenue.
So if a person calls us and tells us, hi, my name is Luke, etc., and I want to have a new license plate, and he says that send it to me to an address, we don't send it to that address. We always send it to the address that we have in this tax registry.
Sweden, of course, has almost 5 million registered motor vehicles. Britain has 35 million. But many believe these number plate controls cut car crime dramatically and also reduce road tax evasion.
We made some checks in Stockholm, and the number of not paying car taxes is less than 1%. So it's very low, actually.
The car crimes is more traffic violations than other types of car crimes. I think the system works very well, and it helps us a lot to go after car crimes and so on. So it's a very good system.
There are no immediate plans to introduce the Swedish system in Britain. But there are signs that the authorities are trying to find new ways of making our number plates more difficult to fake or steal. They've brought together a task force of designers and inventors to design out crime from our everyday lives.
Our objectives are to use design thinking to harness technology to combat crime in various different ways.
The different ways include a self-locking bike and a chair to beat bag snatchers. Next up are our number plates.
The British system of number plates is over 30 years old and hasn't really kept up with contemporary technology. The first thing is limit the source of supply, like they do in Sweden when they have one place where you can get your number plates. We would look at the fonts used to make them more readable, not just by cameras, but also by human beings. We would look at putting information about the actual vehicle on the number plates. So if you have a white Ford Focus, it will say white Ford Focus and have the vehicle chassis number on the number plate. We can make the current system better, and undoubtedly that this will significantly reduce criminal activity and make the life of crime just a bit more difficult.
New British number plates are a long way off in the current economic climate. Replating 35 million vehicles would cost millions.
Across all those vehicles, the cost drops dramatically, even though at the point of development it might be really expensive to put a secure number plate on a car. If you're rolling that out across every car in the UK, you can design a system that is easy, that is cheap, that is secure, and you can sell it. I mean, the government could make a serious amount of money selling the problem to the private sector.
In Warwickshire, Operation Utah is reaching the end of the road for today. But the cameras are still pinging number plates and the cops pulling in cars and vans.
Hello, how are you? How you doing? All right.
And something is not quite right about this one.
Have you got licence on you? No, I have. Cheers, next one.
Are you the owner and keeper of the vehicle? You're not the owner?
There's confusion about who owns the van, and that means PC Sweeney getting involved.
So when did you buy it?
Yes.
So you're now the owner? Right, so you are the owner?
Yeah.
Right, and that's the old certificate. Right, what's your name then, please?
Here you have it, Cornelius Boswell.
Cornelius...
It's Boswell.
What, are you known to us, Mr. Boswell?
No.
You're not.
Never been in trouble in my life.
Fair play to you. Right, OK. Let's get the registration for this.
Cornelius Boswell is a traveller who buys and sells couches and sofas. He's also got a problem with his insurance.
Right, so have you got your own insurance?
My own insurance will be on tomorrow. When he cancels his tomorrow, I went back on tomorrow.
Right, so how are you insured to drive that today?
It's on his insurance.
Are you named on his insurance, is what I'm saying?
He's open driven. Anybody over 25 can drive it.
Right, but you have to...
Yeah,
he
can be commissioned to drive it.
Yeah, I understand that. For that to happen, you have to have your own insurance to be able to drive another vehicle as well. He can obviously have a policy whereby anyone else can drive it, but the driver has to have their own policy in order to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you mean.
So have you got your own
Yeah, I have my own
policy?
insurance. It starts from tomorrow.
Yeah, I understand that. OK.
Mr. Boswell might be convinced his insurance is legit. PC Sweeney isn't.
I said, have you got your own insurance policy? You drive this third party. And he's going, yeah, it starts tomorrow. I'm saying no. He sort of doesn't understand that, so he's got no insurance as far as I'm concerned.
The Utah team are also concerned about identity.
What I'll do, just pop that on there.
Another job for the high-tech fingerprint lantern.
OK, cool. Just be a couple of minutes now, obviously it'll tell me, it'll come back shortly. Should come back right-hand side, Scar.
Mr. Boswell not only knows the fingerprint game, he understands the paperwork trail as well.
I haven't any insurance.
You have another insurance and another van.
On another car?
Yes, same van again.
The same van?
No, not the same van, another van like this.
Another van like
Yeah.
it. Have you got that insurance policy then, or can you give me the details? That's your insurance?
That's the insurance this van here.
Yeah. But you're not a named driver, is that right?
Does anybody drive the van?
Anyone holds a licence.
Yeah, as long as you have.
And English driver's license, I can drive this van.
He's saying that he can drive this vehicle on someone else's insurance. I'm saying he can do that as long as he has his own insurance. Like, I could drive someone else's vehicle as long as I've got my own insurance, third party, do you know what I mean? I could drive on theirs.
That's it, insurance, not me either. Well, you can't.
this cover note, it's okay, it's kosher. It covers sort of yourself to drive vehicles if you're in the trade of buying and selling vehicles, and you've just told me that you're not, and that your father's not, because you're in the trade of buying and selling sofas.
See, that's
what a motor trades policy is, though.
This policy, Pat Quinn's policy, is a trader's policy. That's not a trade. That'll cover me third party.
But you're not buying that for Patrick Quinn. You've just bought that from him, and you're not buying that for. Do you know what I mean? That doesn't insure you, because then you've come away from that. I'm not happy with that, to be honest, at the minute. I'm going to have to do a bit more. I'm not happy that you're fully insured on that. Well, I'm not, to be honest. You're saying, well, this covers.
This insurance is for us to trade with the cabin and sweep.
But this is his father's insurance policy.
The lad who owns his hill of that insurance practically is a trader. He buys that covers any vehicle he drives.
Any vehicle to do with his business.
Yeah,
he's just sold that.
Him.
Right, okay. We've obviously got that motor traders policy, which doesn't work for him, because at the end of the day he's not a motor trader, and neither is father. So we've got that, and so that I don't think, well, that doesn't allow him to drive the vehicle because he's not insured to do so.
The fingerprint check isn't clear either. No right-hand scars, just different identities.
Just comes back with a different date of birth and a different first name. So we'll just check, make sure that he's who he says he is. But obviously the fingerprint has come back with a high possibility that it is this person. So we'll just double check on P&C with description, etc, etc.
The double-checking and an ongoing debate about insurance has sucked in 9 of the Operation Utah officers.
This is the detail he gave us.
Yeah.
Comes back as a full driving licence.
Right.
However, there's also, he was fingerprinted, came back as Patrick Boswell with a different date of birth.
Yeah.
That person is not currently wanted, but doesn't have a driving licence.
Right.
Also on P&C, there's somebody else called Cornelius Boswell, just has a date of birth as 1967, and they've got possession of false road traffic documents as previous conviction.
The UK Border Force also has a mystery to solve involving a van, one full of onion pickers on the way home from work.
Where have you come from today?
It's coming to onion.
You've been from the onion farm?
Yes.
Which farm was it?
I don't know, because it's no understanding.
Okay. Are you in charge of all these people?
It's Romania people.
Yeah, all Romanians?
Yes. No, it's have 3 people, 5 people Indian.
Okay. Does anybody have ID on them? ID cards at the moment? No ID cards? Okay. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to speak to everybody on the vehicle, just get some details on them and run them through the system, okay? So we'll be as quick as we can. So if you hang on for now, we'll just start getting them out the back, okay? Okay.
It's no longer simply a question of insurance or road tax. Is anyone in the van entitled to pick onions in Britain?
No, but
Your name?
Elvis.
Elvis.
Romania?
Okay. Your nationality?
Sorry?
Yes. Your nationality?
Where we got this removable? Karen Porridge.
Where are you from?
Logar. Yes.
Romania.
Logar, yeah.
Your date of birth?
By saying his name is Elvis, the Romanian has aroused suspicious minds.
How old are you?
Why not?
The order.
Have you got any ID?
No.
Right. What are you doing in the UK? Are you working? Do you work here?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Where are you from? Which country? Which country?
Romania.
Obviously they're all Romanians. Romanians are in the EU, so they're entitled to work. But we do get obviously a lot of Moldovans and other nationalities that aren't entitled to work and will pretend to be Romanian.
What nationality are you? Italian. When did you get Italian resident nationality? Hey? How are you Italian? How are you Italian? When did you travel to Italy, or were you born in Italy? So when did you go to Italy? How did you get the Italian nationality? How? You don't understand.
One of the onion pickers has a confession to make. He's from India.
This gentleman's just admitted to me that he entered the UK 3 to 4 years ago in the back of a lorry. He's not seen an immigration officer before and he doesn't actually have a passport. So what we do is we just run them on our fingerprint check machine just to see if they have been encountered before using different details. This gentleman hasn't, so as a result of that we'll probably be arresting him and taking him to a place where we can obviously process him, and in the absence of a passport we'll fill out something called an ETD, which is emergency travel document application, which we'll submit to the embassy to try and secure his removal.
It's been a long day for the Border Force officers, but a successful one.
We're just literally coming to support the police, and it can, as you see, be very rewarding for us. And it helps obviously because we can build relationships with the traffic officers, give them a bit of information about what we're looking for. So it will ultimately help them when they make stops at the side of the road, because then they obviously can make more sort of referrals to us.
Meanwhile, Cornelius Boswell is still waiting to hear what is to become of him, his son, and their van.
Well, you can nick him with no insurance if you wanted to, can't you? It's not giving you anything, really. And your grounds for nicking would be that to verify who he is.
I think to take his van off him, got no
insurance. Then he's want to come back for his van.
The police have the power to seize his van, but they need his signature.
Cornelius, if you're not going to sign...
I will sign it.
Right, we'll just
I want to be arrested as well. Bring me under the police station, will you? I'm pleading. Can you arrest me?
No.
I want to be arrested.
We'll send the police station out and we'll take the van in the morning.
Are you going to sign this bit of paper?
I want to be... I can't get back out here tomorrow.
Right, if you don't sign it, we can still take it anyway. So
how are we going to check our working tomorrow?
Oh, God, lads. I want to get out here. Are you going to come to Wolverhampton pick me up?
That's your copy of the paperwork there, Cornelius.
There's fully comp insurance on my van. I have an English driver's licence, I have a passport, I have everything. And they're still seizing the van for no insurance. I think there's been racist against travellers. I've been gypsies, they're racist. I think you are racist against travellers.
What?
Racist.
Right, okay.
I think that's what my imagination, you're racist against me.
I'm not racist.
You are.
Okay.
You are racist.
I'm not. Right, okay.
Mr. Boswell's allegations might have ended Operation Utah on a sour note, but the boss is still happy with what's been achieved.
It's been absolutely brilliant today. Total, we've had 193 vehicles brought into both the north and southbound services today. 38 of those have actually been seized for offence of no insurance, driving other than in accordance with a licence. Also, in addition to that, we've had 28 arrests today, varying from drugs offences, just simple possession and also possession with intent to supply, but offensive weapons, 2 offensive weapons, illegal immigrants, overstays. So a lot of interesting stops today as well.
The fight against car crime in Britain will continue to be against the odds, as long as the criminals can fool the cops with false and stolen number plates.
It's like an arms race. They need to make sure they're in the front. And nothing's ever going to be solved forever. It's such a volatile, mobile... It's like Darwin, it's evolving all the time, and the offenders and the manufacturers and the designers and the planners and everybody else are trying to keep ahead of each other.
The man who had money taken from him after he was stopped driving a hire car has no involvement in any criminal activity, and his cash was returned in full. The car insurance problem was the fault of the car hire company. There were no charges brought against the Vietnamese man for the chemicals found in the boot of his car, but he was fined £160 for possessing cocaine. The Chinese man with no full British driving licence and no insurance was fined £415 and also had to pay to get his car back. And Cornelius Boswell had a friend pick up his van the next day after making his long walk home.